All right, picture this. You've been on the run for 20 years. You've built a whole new life. You've got a family. You're wealthy. But what if the one person you wronged, the person you fear more than anyone in the world, is marching towards you with an army? Yeah, this isn't just a family reunion, it's a reckoning. Let's dive into the incredible story of Jacob in Genesis 32, and we're going to walk through it verse by verse to see how one night of absolute terror becomes a moment that literally changes history. I mean, that's the exact spot Jacob's in. He's finally heading home, but home might just be the most dangerous place on earth for him. This is a story about what happens when you just can't outrun your past anymore. So our story kicks off on the road. Jacob is finally, after 2 long decades, going back to his homeland. The only problem? His twin brother Esau, the one he tricked out of his inheritance, lives there. And Jacob has no idea if he's about to get a brother's embrace or the sharp end of a sword. Okay, let's start with verses 1 and 2. Jacob's traveling along, and then he looks up and sees not one, not two, but a whole company of angels. Can you imagine? It's like a divine honor guard, sent to show him God is on his side. He's so stunned he calls the place Mahanaim, which means 2 camps, because he realizes in this moment of fear, he's not alone. He has his camp, and God has his. Now, in verses 3 through 5, Jacob sends a message to Esau. And it is a masterclass in humility. See, in that culture, calling someone my lord was a huge deal. So just picture his messengers, bowing low, delivering this super carefully worded message, basically trying to smooth over a 20-year-old grudge. Verse 6. This is the moment his blood runs cold. The messengers come back, and you can just see their grim, dusty faces, and they deliver the news Jacob has been dreading for 2 decades. Esau is coming, and he's got 400 men with him. I mean, you could hear a pin drop in that camp. 400. Let's just let that number sink in for a second. That is not a welcome wagon. That is a small army. And for Jacob, the message is crystal clear. Esau is coming for revenge. So in verses 7 and 8, pure panic mode kicks in. The Bible says he was greatly afraid and distressed, which has to be the understatement of the year. He immediately starts making plans. You can picture the chaos as he splits his entire life's work, his family, his servants, his animals, into 2 separate groups. It's a desperate last-ditch strategy. Maybe, just maybe, one half can escape the slaughter he's sure is coming. In his terror, Jacob does the only 2 things he can think of. He prays and he schemes. Let's take a look at how he prepares for what could be the last day of his life. All right, verses 9 and 10. Jacob's prayer is just, wow, it's so humble. He gets on his knees and basically says, I am not worthy of any of this. A powerful admission, remembering that he left this land with nothing but a stick to his name. Verse 11 is where he gets brutally honest. He just lays it all out there. Deliver me because I am terrified of him. He's not trying to act tough or brave. He's telling God exactly what's in his heart. He's scared to death of his own brother. And then, in verse 12, Jacob does something really bold. He holds God to his own promise. He's not just begging, he's reminding God, hey, you said you'd take care of me. He's challenging God to step in before that whole promise gets wiped out by Esau's army. Now for the plan. This is detailed in verses 13 to 15. He puts together this enormous gift for Esau. I mean, look at this list. We're talking over 500 animals. This is not just a little sorry I tricked you present. This is a massive transfer of wealth designed to completely overwhelm Esau. And here's the brilliant part. Laid out from verse 16 to 20, as you can see here, he doesn't send it all at once. He breaks it up into wave after wave of gifts. The idea is that Esau will keep running into these incredible herds, and each time the servants will say, it's a gift from your servant Jacob. It's basically psychological warfare through generosity. And verse 21 gives us this really powerful image. You see this huge procession of animals and servants moving off into the dusk, heading right for Esau. But Jacob, he stays behind. He's got one last night to be alone with his thoughts and his fear. So the plan is in motion. The gifts are on their way, but while Jacob waits there, alone in the dead of night, he's about to face a challenge that's way bigger than his brother's army. Look at what he does in verses 22 and 23. It's the middle of the night. He wakes everyone up, his wives, his sons, everyone, and personally leads them through the rushing water of the Jabbok River. Then he sends all his stuff over. He is systematically emptying his side of the river until there's nothing left.
Verse 24, this is it. This is the moment that changes everything. The family's gone, the wealth is gone. Jacob is completely, utterly alone in the dark. And then a figure just emerges from the shadows. No words are spoken. A silent, brutal fight begins, and it's going to last all night long.
This is the climax of the story, the moment that will define Jacob for the rest of his life and for all of history. This physical struggle is about to become a spiritual battle for a brand new identity. In verses 25 and 26, the mysterious man, seeing he can't win by conventional means, just touches Jacob's hip and dislocates it. The pain must have been absolutely blinding, and yet Jacob refuses to let go. He's clinging on, gasping, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." And this right here illustrates the turning point in verses 27 and 28. The man asks him, "What is your name?" And Jacob has to finally own it. He has to admit who he is, Jacob, the deceiver, the heel grabber. And in that one moment of confession, he gets a new name, Israel. It means he who struggles with God. He is no longer defined by his lies, but by his struggle. It's a total identity shift. In verses 29 and 30, the full reality of what just happened crashes down on Jacob. He asks the man his name, but doesn't get an answer. And right then, he gets it. He names the place Peniel, saying, "I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved." He just fought with God himself and survived. And these final verses give us this just unforgettable image. As the sun comes up, Jacob, who's now Israel, crosses the river to go back to his family. He is a changed man, walking into a new day with a new name and a permanent limp, a physical, lifelong reminder of his encounter with God. So Peniel, it means the face of God. It's the place where Jacob wrestled with the divine and walked away forever changed. And really, that leaves us with this final thought. Jacob walked into that night as a deceiver, totally terrified of his past. He walked out of it, wounded, sure, but he was also blessed with a brand new identity forged in that struggle. It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What are the struggles in our own lives, the things we wrestle with in the dark, that have the power to really change us, to reshape us, and maybe even give us a new name?